next up, we have a very interesting conversation and something that goes with what we always say in SAP. We are moving to the cloud. So I would like to welcome on stage Heinrich Spritzler from NÜRNBERGER Insurance to present a story of commissions. And he is in charge, or is the vice president of NÜRNBERGER, and he has this huge responsibility of moving 500 systems, modernizing them with a team of 350 people and 60 projects running at the same time. So welcome.
Thank you, Usha. Great pleasure to be here.
So there's a
thank you. Okay.
So I would still introduce yourself.
Yes, of course, because it's 500 systems and 70 projects. Okay, my name is Heinrich Fritzler. I'm from NÜRNBERGER Insurance Company, and I'm there the head of IT with, like Usha already explained, a lot of ancient systems, legacy systems, new systems, and we are in the middle of the process of modernizing these systems. And before I start, I would like to know whom of you is working in a primary insurance? So in the room, no? At least you will understand my problems, which I face daily, day by day in our business. What I brought with you is a story about a current project, which is SAP Commissions implementation at NÜRNBERGER Insurance Company. But first of all, I want to show you a little bit what is a NÜRNBERGER Insurance Company. You see here an ancient guy. This is Count Faber-Castell. This guy founded a famous pencil fabric where you can buy nice exclusive pencils. And also he founded in 1884 the NÜRNBERGER Insurance Company. So a very visionary guy with a lot of view for the future, what is coming up. And this is still in NÜRNBERGER Insurance Company the spirit. So we are looking at the future, what can we do, and what are the things necessary for the next steps. We are a mid-sized German-based insurance company, 4.5 billion turnover, 4,500 employees, and we do it full line of insurance. So this is from P&C to health, everything what is on the market. For us, it is important to be a full-scale insurance company because we have a very complex and comprehensive sales distribution organization. There is, for example, our employee sales force. There are free brokers in the market who sell our products to our customers, and there are any other kinds of selling insurance products. And as every insurance company, we are also a kind of sales-driven, and therefore the handling of commission, the handling of how we calculate commissions, the handling of the hierarchy of the sales structure is a very key and strategic issue within the insurance company, and we look there with a very eye on how is that managed. In the past, we've done that in roughly 7 to 10 systems on the mainframe architecture. This was all grown in the house over decades, and it displayed all the necessity and the needs what we had in commission calculation, in describing the sales organization and making all the reports necessary. And when we look at this old story, we learned, okay, we face a couple of problems there. There is the technology problem. This is an old technology, this is a complex technology, and it's not open for new innovations. If we want to change something, it lasts a long time. We are with that old story not future-proof, as you can imagine, and our employees, especially the sales people, are not very happy with it. For example, if they today in the elder system want to know some report, they have to request the report in the IT. In the IT, someone is going to collect the data and send them the reports back. So it's clumsy in the processes, the classic system, and we are looking here for improvement. And of course, it's a question of cost and workforce. First of all, we want to diminish the cost for the mainframe architecture, and we have to look at the capabilities of people running these ancient systems. In total, it was time to think about something new, and we looked at something new. What we wanted to achieve with a new commission system, and as you can imagine, it is the ex-Calidus SAP Pioneer commission solution. There were mainly six areas we wanted to achieve. First of all, it needs to be able to display our complex sales organization structure in these hierarchies, in these relationships between each other, where you can calculate the commissions. And so this needs to be done very, very easily and very smoothly. Further, the handling of the commission itself should be efficient and easier than it is today. We also wanted the calculation more modular, because this is math. This is nothing very, very rocket science, but when you put a very long equation and graph together, it becomes complex, so we wanted that to have modularized. And we wanted find something which supports our processes better than before, because as I said, we are in a very clumsy process world where a sales guy outside wants to know something. He asks in the sales department in the NÜRNBERGER sales department goes to the IT codes something, and we get a report. Also, this is not as it should be for our salespeople. We were looking for modern technology. Not the mainframe architecture, not the host. And of course, we wanted to exploit synergies in using a standard solution, in parallel changing big treaty systems like the P&C system or the life system, and look how we can balance this between what is a standard and what is individually needed for the NÜRNBERGER. Maybe one word here, because I talk a lot about our salespeople. We, in the NÜRNBERGER, treat our salespeople and consider them as equal as customers. So for them, it needs to be the same perfect environment and technical provision of systems like for our customers. There's no differentiation. They are like in the first row as well. And coming out of that, we formulated a vision. And this said, we want to create an attractive environment for our salespeople, that they like to work with NÜRNBERGER tools and services, and thinking if the salespeople like it, they will be happy at the customer side, and indirectly the customers benefit as well. But we know it all, a commission system is not at the front of the customer, it is in the front of the salespeople, and here we started, and for us it is a quantum leap, because we directly go from the host, from the mainframe to the cloud. There's no step in between from CS or something. No, it's a real quantum leap, and we are also, after we made the decision together with SAP and then SAP Pioneer, the first German-speaking insurance company to implementing that solution. At the end, I will come to some learnings and findings, because this is sometimes a rough way. The benefits we were looking at entailed also a couple of risks, because when you come from an environment where you have everything in your basement, and you know the code, you know everything, you have done it by yourself, all the experts in-house, and now you start and say, okay, core components are not longer in our hands. They are in the hands of a technology provider. They are in the cloud somewhere. We had to look how we deal with that. And to name a couple of these issues we were looking at were, first of all, how do we deal with renting that? What is about with the data there? And how do we organize our work in between SAP and then SAP Pioneer together, that we don't run into problems in that sense? Then a cloud solution, of course, the big benefit is, or one big benefit is, you have always the latest version. and you have always the actual version of that, but that means there are release cycles, and they are defined by the technical provider. How do that fit to our release plans in the house? And we promise, for example, that next spring we will bring a new cyber insurance, and all the salespeople are happy the new cyber insurance is coming, and then we have to say, ooh, but provision calculation is not ready there yet, and you can sell, but you don't get money. So this is something which will not work, and this calendars of release need to be fixed together and need to be worked together well. Also, we were thinking about what is an exit if it went wrong, if something is not nicely happening in the future, and we decide we want to change technology, change partners, also the exit strategy. And it was for us a hard thinking, because everything was 100% made by our own. It was in our house, all the experts, everything. And now we gave very, very crucial parts of strategic issues like provisioning in other hands. But together with SAP and SAP Pioneer, we really found out nice solutions. We did good contracts, and it worked out well, so that we could decide this is a way we can go, even that these risks were there, and we considered them very, very, very carefully. We implement currently mainly 3 parts of SAP Commissions in the project. This is, of course, the Producer Pro, Agent Performance Management, and Commissions. The one is what I said, the hierarchy of the sales organization, to display, to manage, and to assign some sales person to another organization, and these things. The pure commission calculation, which is the core, that you understand how much money you can earn when selling this product, or when you do this and this, and some workflow and reporting topics of that. This is not the full-blown scale of what is possible, but it was that replaces 7 systems which were the core systems from us, and which we wanted to replace in the first step. When we started to implement that, we first asked ourselves, warte mal, ist das jetzt die richtige? 1 second. No, okay, it's correct. We had to decide whether we do it or whether we do it not. We had the risks, but this all was not yet enough to decide. And we wanted to make a technical proof of concept. So not only talking about legal topics in a big contract and listening to the very capable people from SAP Pioneer talking about the bright sunshine and at the end of the project. We wanted to test it in a technical proof of concept. And here, thinking from design thinking from the customer first. So what is the functionality inside? We proved very, very deeply the usability very deeply, because this was one issue we wanted to overcome, that it's not that clumsy and complicated as the current system. The complete integration behind the firewall, what APIs, how we do that, how we access to the cloud, what is the performance there, and all these issues were looked at. Also, we looked from an architectural point of view. Is Calidus as modern as it is promised, or is it not as modern as promised? And we looked at the handling, because there's a change of philosophy in some extent. In our ancient world, we have what is here 2 systems, what I showed you, APM and the commissions is one system at NÜRNBERGER. So we had to think to divide that philosophically in 2 systems. And all these things were in comparison to 3 other products and service providers. And at the end of the day, we decided, yes, this is the right way after a technical POC and all the things we had to consider in advance. So selection process has been finished, and we calculated, of course, not only for the benefit of the salespeople, we also looked at the hard figures, and we consider a 30% efficiency increase when it's fully implemented. So this comes from simply better processes, less people involved, more self-service on the user side, be it internally the sales department, be it externally the sales agents who can use it. And this brings us this calculated 30% efficiency increase, which is for us enough to spend the money on the project, to start it and to do it together. What is necessary that we achieve these 30%, and there we have to look very carefully that we don't lose the way in achieving these things. The full integration in the NÜRNBERGER environment, which means all our products must run on that platform. For the moment, we are only in the P&C area, and they are in a small section of P&C. So, but the efficiency gains come only when it is for the whole product portfolio of us. Of course, we need to replace all the other systems. Sometimes in a grown mainframe environment, it is hard to really, like a surgeon, cut a solution out and replace it, because it is used for another system which is not SAP Commissions, and so the replacement and really the shut-off of the old system is a prerequisite which is hard from our side to do, has nothing to do with SAP Pioneer. This is our task to clean the desk after we worked. And automation, of course, we want to see much more automated processes in the system, in the back, that are not that manual as it is now. And all these prerequisites are on a good way. Yes, and the project is still in its infancy. We have started, we had a steep learning curve together. It's like co-innovation and sometimes learning by pain, but it's a very good way so far. When I look at where we stand now with SAP Commissions, then we are live. We are live in the P&C liability line of business. And of course, the target is by end of 24 that we are in all lines of businesses implemented. We have seen that self-service is working, but for the moment it's not the case that the real sales agent sees it already, as they have not yet experienced the beautiful new world. This is still a little bit behind the curtain, so we need to put a kind of management attention on the project, because it's not pulling by the demand of the users. They don't see it already. As a lot of groundwork has been done, and we are through that groundwork, and we hope that we in the next steps really come to that screens and surfaces are visible for the real users. And when I say in its infancy, maybe I will come then what are the key takeaways. We have a complex project portfolio at NÜRNBERGER Insurance Company, and we are at the same time changing two main treaty systems for the life insurance and for the P&C insurance. And we decided that only with the P&C insurance system, what we are changing, that SAP Commissions goes with that. The life insurance system is independently still calculating on the old systems. But nevertheless, the complexity of the parallel projects is so huge that at the end of the last year, we really went into a task force mode and had to look how can we improve together the setup of the project, the governance of the project, the technical requirements, and here together we measured out what was needed. The size of the project team was too small. The governance was not right for such a complex project, so we put higher governance above all the projects. We put more money in the project. Also, a lot of things we've done to improve, and we are glad that we had the chance in last year to really go through that and reorganize it a little bit. Yeah, this is where we are today. What from my point of view are the key takeaways for the moment. My 350 employees had no idea of cloud, SAP, Calidus, all these things. And we thought that training on the job is a good way to learn that. Yes, you can learn when you are ready with a system. When you are implementing a new system and building it, you need experts. So the training aspect was underestimated by us, and we had to really go into that. It is also a question of costs, because we work together with the support of SAP and SAP Pioneer, and the more external parts are doing the business, the more costly it is, less my internal parts. So all this enablement and training has been a little bit underestimated. Then we did a little bit hard, and we are getting better and better in finding the balance, what is used to be in the standard and what comes in our integration layer. We have an integration layer where the connection is done with our backend and our other systems, and there is some logic inside. And this logic was in our old system within the commission system, and is not in the new system, but it is now in the integration layer. And for us, it's a balancing question all day long to see, shouldn't that be a part of the standard, of the future standard of the system, and not in our integration layer, because other companies, other insurance companies need that as well? Or is it something what we have to do in the integration layer? And these decisions you cannot make upfront when you start the project, when you think about what you want. This comes day by day, and it is really hard sometimes to discuss where does it belong, and so right balance. You need experienced people. Autodidacts is a problem. But when you don't have experienced people, you have to gap that, you bridge that gap in a sense. We have now a very, very good way here. SAP Pioneer brings the experienced people, they have them. We at the NÜRNBERGER not yet, but we grow in that sense that we also have them. The change of philosophy also was underestimated by me. I thought, hey, guys, there's a new system, this works differently, everything is fine. But when you have colleagues which worked 20, 30 years in one philosophy of doing things, and then you separate that, and this is one team, it costs more energy to overcome that change of technology than I was anticipating. So we need to understand that very well. The parallel implementation, I showed you before, we started with that in the sense of raising synergies, but these synergies also can be hurdles, because the business demand for certain products, certain things to do, is sometimes much higher than my technical arguments against them. And so this parallel implementation is better when it is divided, when it is more independent, when we have technical solutions which decouple the projects, and you can go forward in different paces, and so that not the slowest project is impeding the progress of the faster ones, but in a parallel complex situation, this is sometimes hard to find. And one finding was, I don't know, Jochen, whether you will agree or not. We experienced when when SAP Pioneer was established, that some internal processes went a little bit longer. So we had, when we needed some fix or so, it was in the past 1 day, now it's 2 days. So you talk first here, then there. Maybe this will speed up in the future, but we realized that there was, due to the new organizational structure, also some communication bypasses which lasted a little bit longer. My employees, my people, learned that they lose freedom and flexibility in coding. When they had in the past the chance to answer a question from the department, hey, can you do this, like Hey Joe principle, they did it somewhere in the host environment, and there was then the functionality. Now they have to be much more strict and stern in the things what they are doing, and this also had to take in account when you switch from a really own-grown thing into a standard thing. Finally, we are very, very glad at NÜRNBERGER that we are here the first ones, and it has a huge of support and promotion in the company. We are glad that we are on that way, and that shows that I'm here. It's not only because it's my first business trip after 2.5 years. This would be reason enough, but I'm proud to share that with you. And we have a lot ahead in the project, and we overcame the infancy problems, and now we are in the more mature way. And I think that's, well, fine. Thank you.
It's not that I'm maintaining distance. I have been told to stand here, so I'm going to occupy this place. All right. That was a very, very interesting presentation. And this is very interesting in many ways, simply because, one, it's moving from a homegrown to a cloud standard solution. And the enormous size of what you just said makes it even more complex. Yep. But then you're still running an enterprise, a large-scale enterprise, when you're changing the wheels of an aircraft rather than a car, right?
It's a complex system.
It's an extremely complex system. So there are a couple of questions, and the audience has been definitely listening to everything that you said. The first one is around integration, right? With so many systems, when you took on this cloud solution, how did you handle the integration? How did you prepare, and what did you do?
Also technically, we looked at our classic environment where we are with our firewalls and everything like that, and then we are of course on the hardware of SAP in that sense, and we integrated a Java integration layer which connects the cloud services with our internal services, and the thickness of that layer, this is always a big question of discussion. How thick should it be? I want them very thin, but some of them want them very thick, but the integration is done by such a layer. It's not a hub, it's a layer.
Great. And they would like to know something about your project size in terms of the people, number of people you had, the time you spent planning, as well as executing that plan.
We started 2 years ago, roughly 2 years ago, and we expected to finish in 24, end of 24. I have to say that this date is not fixed in stone, because we are in a reprioritization of our whole project landscape, and we will see how impacted this will be, but this is for me fine. And in the project work, I have not the complete number. I would say internal, maybe Jochen can tell me how many external.
So on the external side, I think we are 10, right?
Yeah.
Which is not on the basis, so that's pretty reasonable. And on the internal side, I would say overall 25.
25 in three streams.
That's counting business and IT.
Yeah.
Compared to the scope, it's a pretty small one.
This is what we found out, that the team is simply too small and not well set up, and we are improving now on that.
And you touched on the enablement and making certain assumptions that you can learn on the job. And I share the same experience as you to say that learn on the job is a fantastic thing, but it requires a foundation layer before you kick it off. What were some of the things you would recommend our customers and partners to watch out for, other than saying, yes, you need to plan, but what exactly should they be planning for?
We were not able to bring the enablement and the learning at the level we want, because we were committed to too many business goals which we had to achieve. For example, there were other projects who needed us, and we had to work, and no time for enablement. Or we had a business decision to integrate something else which came in between, and we had no work. When I would start it new, I would say that we needed bigger, and we need fixed time for enablement, and not make the enablement when it is time for enablement. And this assumption was wrong.
Great. This is another question that I like as well, is what were some of the things that made your stakeholders, the business stakeholders in the organization, nervous about this project?
Still now they are not nervous. No, also we had a clear business case, which is these. It's more in detail. I brought only the one figure, the 30%. This made them happy. They also looked very at the future opportunities. What else could be used? For example, we have a big system which is about sales controlling. Also very clumsy, also very old, and we were thinking maybe this could be displayed also with SAP solutions here and bring that. This doesn't make them nervous. Where they look very carefully on is the different speed of the projects and their business goals. And the main business goal for an insurance company is to bring a new product in place sometimes in spring and whatever. And this product needs to be sold and it needs to be commissioned. And when there's a delay, then they get nervous.
Okay, good. So this is a new question that has popped up. How much impact on the individual demand fulfillment, as in functionality, came from the fact that it is a cloud solution compared to on-prem standard software?
We were not looking at a cloud solution at all. It was by accident. Also not by accident, but we were looking for the newest available solution. And this was then a cloud solution, but it was not the approach to say we have to go to the cloud and we look what are the providers who offer commissioning in the cloud. This was not the way.
Good. I have one question from my side. What was your data migration strategy for this solution? Did you do data migration?
Not yet. Not yet. We have the old system is still running, and because our main business is life insurance, it is completely running with the old system. And I think we have both together smartly think about data migration. I think things will change, and whether we will all migrate, I doubt that.
Okay, there's one interesting question as well, and I'm going to expand this question because I think it is connected to what Hendrik said earlier. This is a back-end system because today your brokers and your agents possibly are not seeing that there is a new system.
In the future, yes.
Yeah. So what's your front-end strategy for this system?
They shall use it as a self-service in the future and shall see that, but this is not yet ready.
Okay. So this is going to take some time from an organization?
This is going to take some time. Jochen maybe can explain me the project plan better than I.
I think we are not so far. And on the migration side, it's true that we still have to do all the migration of the transactions, but we have every NÜRNBERGER agent in the system, which is already in the cloud. So on the master data side, it's already full
dumped.
And now we have to work on the transactions.
Fantastic. One more question again. So this question is related to, so you have today 2 commission systems.
Also the old way is even more, 7 or so, but it is understood as one commission system, but there are many components, super provisioning and whatever.
Yeah, so how do you deliver a consolidated view of commissions to your brokers and agents?
Currently, it is done not with the reporting of the new system, still in the old system. And this is what I said, one of these clumsy processes. The agent cannot do it by himself. He requests it, he becomes it once a month, and this is always looking the same table. And IT and sales department in-house have to create that and deliver that. This is a not very well process.
Okay. And there's this last question, unless there is something which pops up again. This is slightly on the broader side, beyond this, what you have just shared. What's your vision for NÜRNBERGER regarding customer interaction and customer journey? Because you're running so many projects, we are sure that there is customer in those projects as well.
Also for the customers who buy our products, we want them really that they have the ability to make it online as well. But we know that insurances can't be sold like chewing gum or butter, and it needs to be sold. And therefore, our vision is that we provide our salespeople with the best technology that they can then sell the products to the customers.
Fantastic. I don't see any other questions, so Henrik. This was a fantastic session.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. But we will be looking forward to bringing you back on stage because this story continues.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.